ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 15. Okay, if anyone would like to read the verse, could raise your hand, please. Go ahead, Mataji. Chitra Mohini. Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पुत्रांश्च शिष्यांश्च नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोककामो मदन अनुग्रहार्ताः इत्थं विमन्युर् अनुशिष्यात् अत् अज्ञा अत् आत्मज्ञान न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन् अनुजो अर्थं लभेत् निपातयन् नष्टदृशं हि ग्रते। हरे
Thank
कृष्ण
you,
माता जी।
Hare Krishna. Venkata Narasimha Das Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Putrams Sishyans Nrupo Gururvya Malloka Kamo Madanagrahartha Idam Vimanyuranu Sishyat Adadnan Nayojayat Karmasu Karma Modhan Kam Yojayan Manusho Manuzordam Labate Nipatayat Nasta Drusam Hi Garte.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Devi Prema Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
Hare Krishna.
पुत्रां च शिष्यां च निर्भो गुरुर्वा मल्योह कामा मत् अनुग्रहार्थतः इत्थं विमन्युर् अनुशिष्यात् अदज्ञान् न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन् मनुजोऽर्थं लभते निपातयन् नष्टदृशं हि गते। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Hare
माताजी।
Krishna. Madhumay Krishna Kanta Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पुत्रांश्च शिष्यांश्च नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोककामो मदनुग्रहार्थः इत्थं विमन्युरनुशिष्यात् अतज्ञान् न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन् मनुजो अर्थं लभेत निपातयन् नष्टदृशं हि गर्ते। थैंक यू माताजी।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. R. Vijay Kumari Mataji, please go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। पुत्रां च शिष्यां शक्नुरो गुरुर्वा मल्योग कामो मत् अनुग्रहार्थः इत्थं विमन्युर् अनुशिष्यात् अदज्ञान् न योजयेत् कर्मोषु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन् मनुजो अर्थं लभते निपातयन्नष्ट दृशं हि कर्ते। हरे कृष्ण माता जी। थैंक यू माता जी।
Shubha Rao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पुत्रांश्च शिष्यांश्च नृपो गुरुर्व्या मल्लोककामो मदनुग्रहार्थः इत्थं विमन्युरनुशिष्यादतज्ञान् न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन्मनुजोऽर्थं लभेत निपातयन्नष्टदृशं हि गर्ते।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Srinivas Rao Prabhuji, please go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पुत्रांश शिष्यांश नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोक कामो मदनुग्रहार्थः इत्थं विमन्युर् अनुशिष्यात् अतज्ञान् न योजयोत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन् मनुजोऽर्थं लभेत निपातयन्नष्टदृशं हि गर्ते। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पुत्रांच शिष्यांच नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोककामो मदनुग्रहार्दः इत्थं विमन्यु शिष्यातज्ञान न योजयत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयान् मनुजोर्धं लभते निप निपातयन् नष्टदृशं हि गर्ते।
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
हरे
Madhusoni
कृष्णा।
Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पुत्रांश शिष्यांश नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोक कामो मदनुग्रहार्थः इत्थं विमन्युरनु अनुशिष्याद तज्ज्ञान न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन्यमनोजो अर्थं लभेत निपातयन्नष्टदृशं हि घर्ते। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anjali Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण पुत्रांश शिष्यांश नृपो गुरुर्वा मललोक कामः मद अनुग्रहार्थः इत्थं विमान्युर अनुशिष्यात् अतज्ञान न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् यं योजयन् मनुजो रथं लभेता निपातयन् नष्टदृशं हि गर्ते। हरे कृष्ण माता
Thank
जी।
you, Hare Krishna. Samsung
कृष्ण माताजी।
Devti
पुत्रां
Mataji.
शिष्यं च नुरूप गुरुर्वा मल्योक कामो मद अनुग्रह आर्तः इदं विमन्युरनुशिष्य अतिज्ञान न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजनं मनोज अर्थं लभेदे निबाधयन् नष्टं त्रिसं हि कर्ते। हरे कृष्ण माताजी। थैंक यू
Thank
वेरी
you,
वेरी
Hare
मच।
Krishna. पुत्रां च शिष्यां च नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोककामो मद अनुगृहर्था इत्थं विमन्युरनुशिष्यादतज्ज्ञान न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन् मनुजो अर्थं लभेता निपातयन्नष्टदृशं हि कर्ते. Putran, the sons, Cha and Shishyan, the disciples, Cha and Nripa, the king, Guru, the spiritual master, Va or Matlok Kamaha, desiring to go to my abode, Mat Anugraha Artha, thinking that to achieve my mercy is the aim of life. Itham, in this manner, Vimanyuhu, free from anger, Anushishyat, should instruct a Tat Gyan, bereft of spiritual knowledge, Na, not, Yojayet, should engage, Karmasu, in fruitive activities, Karma Mudhan, simply engaged in pious or impious activities, Kam, what, Yojayan, engaging, Manujaha, a man, Artham, benefit, Labheta, can achieve, Nipatayan, causing to fall, Nashtadrisham, one who is already bereft of his transcendental sight, he indeed, Garte, in the whole. Translation by Divangesh Rabapacharya, Baat ki jai. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum and chief aim of life. If he is a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions even if his disciple, son, or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. Ignorant people should engage in pious and impious activities. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity. If one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son, or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? It is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Baat ki jai. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 26, Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. Let not the wise disrupt the minds of the ignorant who are attached to fruitive action. They should be encouraged not to refrain from work, but to work in the spirit of devotion. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. हे कृष्ण करुण सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्ते. तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी इति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum and chief aim of life. If he is a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions, even if his disciple, son, or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity. If one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son, or citizen, who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? It is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, a very, very fortunate people here, 5th canto, the creative impetus, chapter number 5. What is the name of the chapter again?
Lord
Lord
Rishabhadeva
Rishabhadeva teaching
teachings
to his
to
sons.
his sons.
So instructions of Lord Rishabhdev to his sons. Now, so far, Lord Rishabhdev has instructed his sons starting from the root of tapasya. Right, tapasya, or I explained the word tapasya as Srila Prabhupada explains in his lecture of this verse, is like temperature. Tapa comes from the word temperature, or doing some austerity in the human form of life so that our heart becomes clean and then we experience Brahmasakya, which is eternal, or happiness in Krishna consciousness, which is eternal, which is not bound by past, present, and future. Then he tells them various things to do in tapasya to accept a spiritual master, and then also to lead in such a way that one is not entangled in fruitive activities. And then from verse 10 to 13, there are 25 instructions given to his sons on various aspects. And then yesterday, you must have studied with Dhameshwari Mataji that he gives a final instruction in the series that if you do this, then what will happen? Then the hard knot in your heart will be slackened and you will become disinterested in fruitive activity. Okay, so now once one has achieved a personal victory, this is like a highly effective person, right? Once one has achieved a personal victory that the hard knot is slackened and the fruitive activities have become disinterested to the existence of a conditioned soul, or every activity that one is doing is actually a service to Krishna, then think of others. Don't be selfish, think of others. If you are trying to go back to Krishna, then why go alone? Try to take as many souls as you can on behalf of the spiritual master, not that we become the spiritual master. Okay, and first instruction is that if one is serious. So I was hearing one class today, and in that Maharaj was saying that Prabhupada was giving one class to a large mass of people, and one person stood up in the crowd and asked, have you seen Krishna? So have you seen Krishna? So Prabhupada said, yes, I have seen Krishna. So then why have I not seen Krishna? If you have seen Krishna, why not I have seen Krishna? So Prabhupada said, do you really want to see Krishna? Are you serious in seeing Krishna? And then the person thought for a few seconds and then said, no, I'm not serious. Basically, he was honest. So why are we not seeing Krishna? Because we're not serious. Okay, we want to do Krishna consciousness, but there are so many button ifs attached. Which is fine because not everyone is starting or is at the present moment same element or same point of devotional service. One must need to keep moving. Okay, keep moving, because material energy means when we get stuck, when we feel stuck in life, or when we feel stuck in spiritual journey, that means we are overpowered by material energy. But spiritual energy is more strong. So how do you overcome material energy? By imbibing more of the spiritual elements. Okay, by um, strengthening one's tapasya. So and then one has to revisit this aim of going back to Krishna every day. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sum and bonum and chief aim of life. Okay, and then we have to instruct others. If we are serious, and then how do we know what is the checkpoint that I'm serious? It's like saying, if a parent is very serious about their parenting or raising their children, how would you know that they're serious in raising their children? What are some of the actions that you will notice that they're serious about the well-being of the children or upbringing of the children? How will you know? What are some of the markers?
ఈ సైడ్ పోలాను వన్ సేపు తీసుకుంటుంటే ఆయన పదం అక్కడ
How will you know? Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I-
Mataji, you're audible, yes.
Okay, thank you. So how do we know that, okay, this particular parent, mother and father, they're serious about the well-being of their child? The children will be well kept, they will be clean, they will have food to eat, they will have shelter, they will be going to good school, they will their health will be looked after. Yes or no? The parents won't be giving
Yes, Mataji.
care
Yes, Mataji.
rights only to the servants, but they will spend time with their children. So you know, some of the, okay, these parents are serious. They're serious about their relationship with their children. Yeah or no?
Yes,
Yes, Mataji. Teachings.
So how do we know that I am serious about going to Krishna? Or how do you know that you're serious about going to Krishna? How do we all know that we are serious about going to Krishna? What are some of the markers? Yes, there is the internal practice, which is more obviously more important and more powerful. But then there is after some time, one has to exhibit external attitudes or external qualities as well. How do we know? How do you know Prabhupada was serious about Krishna consciousness?
Krishna conscious fellow Mataji, he will not talk about the material things. He only talk about Krishna and Krishna. That's one point.
Thank you.
One factor.
Mm.
He will be always obedient. Will be show mercy to all the bhaktas. Like that, all good things only. You can see the way he behaves.
Thank you. Dhanyada Meshwari Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji,
Selflessness, Mataji.
parents will demonstrate, Mataji, the way they perform the austerities or the prayers, whatever towards the devotion, they will demonstrate wherein it will give a role model to the kids. The kids easily will catch hold of and they will follow the parents. That's how they will do, Mataji. This is my understanding.
Thank you. Shubham Patil Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. How do you know you're serious about going to Krishna?
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. If that person got a single moment, single minute or anything, then he will try to engage in Krishna consciousness. He will not waste his time. He will try to engage every time in Krishna conscious only. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Madhumai Krishna Kanta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, he will go to temple, he will attend Arati, he will attend festivals, he will do service in the temple, he will involve himself with the devotees and the service of the Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Vijay Kumari Mataji.
Mataji, help others, give respect to elders and co-mates. He selflessness. She is not give importance to his he give others the material and give advice to others, small children like that.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Thank you. Angel, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Mataji, as per my understanding, like when we treat him as a family member, like when we speak to him daily and give him the records of everyday events, then we come to know that we are closer to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Interesting. Thank you very much. So, yeah, they're very nice points everyone said. Thank you very much. But one of the key points, then how do we actually know we are serious about going to Krishna? Well, there are two kinds of devotees. One is Bhajananandi and another one is Khoshtanandi. Bhajananandi devotees, like, for example, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, is in a secluded area, is able to do his bhajan. Khoshtanandi is what Prabhupada made ISKCON for, preaching. You learn, and if you have learned it, then you go and preach others. So how do we actually know? Krishna has said that in Bhagavad Gita also in 18th chapter, the devotional service is granted to a person who, what is it? Now I've given a hint. Who? Devotional service is granted to a person who is going to
Preach others.
nice. So he's going to reveal this secret of devotional service to others. Okay, so if we are able to preach, and preaching is not a static business. Preaching is not just chalk and talk. Preaching is multi-dimensional skill. Okay, it's not that that everybody has to come for a class. Yes, that standard is set by Srila Prabhupada that everybody must have class. Lives in the temple, morning Bhagavatam, evening Bhagavad Gita. But preaching is also multidimensional, and one of the ways of preaching is to engage ourselves and engage others in Krishna in devotional service. Okay, that's what I'm saying that, okay, we instruct them, but we also show them the action. If we are able to show them the action, let's say somebody is not interested in knowing the philosophy, but they still become a devotee of Krishna? They're not interested in knowing too much about the philosophy. Can they still become a devotee of Krishna? Or Krishna is going to discount that person and say, no, you can't come here?
They can become master.
They can become Mataji.
Devotee of Krishna.
How?
By doing activities in service of Krishna.
Very nice. So actually devotional service is so powerful, and then what happens that one becomes interested in learning about Krishna. Just by doing that activity for Krishna, one becomes interested in knowing about Krishna. So it can work either way. Some people engage in devotional service after learning a little bit about Krishna. Some people learn about Krishna after engaging in devotional service under the supervision of a spiritual master or a father or a citizen or a king, whatever one's situation is in life. So the bottom line is that somehow or other engage in Krishna's service, somehow or other. And we all can do that. Prabhupada says even a child can do that. Prabhupada was giving class. I heard Prabhupada said, you see, we have so many children in our movement. They don't understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. They don't understand what we are reading in Srimad Bhagavatam, but they are becoming Krishna conscious. How? They take a flower, they go and they offer it to the picture of Krishna. They offer it to the picture of Prabhupada. They pay obeisances. They dance in the kirtan. Everything is taken into account. So one needs to understand that engagement is necessary. We cannot be without engagement. This is a fanatic idea that we can just sit in silence. Do you know what is the attention span of a modern day man? Average attention span of a modern day man? Average attention span. What is it? What is the latest time? Give a number. It's okay to be wrong. What is the average attention span of a modern day man?
10 minutes, Mataji.
10 minutes.
9 seconds.
9, yeah, close enough. Yeah, the average is 8 seconds. 8 seconds, average. You see, that's the average attention span of hearing someone else's instruction or hearing. So basically, the mind goes here, there, everywhere. Unless until somebody is chanting Hare Krishna, then yes, they can control and bring it back. That is a different category altogether. But an average person has attention span nowadays less than that of a goldfish. Okay. So Prabhupada is instructing, Rishabh Dev is saying that they should always avoid fruitive activity. It's not that they should avoid an activity. Okay, try to understand. It's not that they avoid activity, don't do any activity. No, avoid a fruitive activity. What is a fruitive activity? Which leads or which puts one into a bondage of cycle of birth and death. For example, cooking is an activity. Is it not? Or is it like, okay, I'm going to meditate in my kitchen, pots will come, everything will be cooked and it's done. Or you really have to get engaged. Is cooking an activity?
Yes, Mataji, it is an activity.
Any doubt?
Yeah.
This class has doubt about that also. Only one person said yes. Is cooking an activity or it is an or not an activity?
Yes,
Activity.
Mataji.
It's an activity, yes.
Hey, everyone awake. So cooking is an activity, but we can cook for Krishna, right? We don't have to cook for sanskarification. We don't have to cook, dead bodies in our kitchen and make it like a graveyard cooking stale. Once I was in Gitanagri, once I was cooking in the morning and the temple president was also in the kitchen. I guess we had a retreat and it was a huge amount of prasad bhoga we were making. And there were a few other people. So we were chopping and cooking and it was like a full energy, at 5:36 in the morning. And I just said, oh, this is so nice. I'm loving it. So we are all here and we're doing it. Then Dhruva Prabhu said, you see, we are loving it, but all the people who open the hotels or restaurants, they must also be chopping and cooking and starting to ignite fire right around this time. But they are hating it. We're doing same activity, cooking for Krishna and cooking for sanskarification. One ignites one's spiritual energy and one just overwhelms the conditioned soul with more material energy. So it's not that avoid cooking. It's not, understand please. It says cook or do an activity with Krishna factor included. It's not that, okay, if somebody is working, then stop working. No, work in such a way that it actually becomes an offering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or donate a portion of the salary to Krishna service if we can't do anything else. That we can do. So these instructions have to be passed on. These instructions have to be given. If not, then we will become bereft of the transcendental vision, and then the material energy will become overwhelming. If you see a person who's not chanting Hare Krishna, they're overwhelmed with their life. Do you feel that now? If you talk to people who are not chanting Hare Krishna, do you feel that sense of compassion for them? They're overwhelmed. Again, we just celebrated, it's for me right now, Narsimha Chaturdashi, right? So Hiranyakashipu got all these benedictions from Lord Brahma. And he got all these benedictions. So he has all these benedictions in his pocket. But can we say that despite of getting all these benedictions, he was always like a cool guy, like satisfied, happy, go, merry kind of a person? Or was he always anxious?
Anxious.
He was anxious, Mataji.
Prahlad Maharaj, on the other hand, his own son, okay, and had to undergo so much torture from the hands of his own father. Was he always anxious or was he satisfied and content?
Satisfied.
Satisfied.
Contented.
You see, so if we are not aligning our life in Krishna's service, if we are not aligning our vision, our journey in this life to go back to Krishna, then we will always be overwhelmed by material energy. This is the plan. Alayam means a place of living, na? So, like for example, Vidyalayam is place where Vidya is given, school, right? Or Mantralayam is temple, right? Bhojanalayam is where the food is given. But what does Krishna say about this place where we are? What kind of a place is this in Bhagavad Gita?
Dukhalayam. Ashashvatam.
Dukhalayam.
Dukhalayam.
So Dukhalayam means this is the place where we only get dukh. He has said it. So if now the designer has said that there is no sukh, but the mind is saying that no, there is, just don't lose hope. Go ahead, do it, go ahead. Then we always will remain overwhelmed because we are not going in the right direction. This is what it means. It is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. Already it is said that it is a place where there is a lot of misery. There is no happiness. So what makes us align or put trust in the material energy, starting from the conception in the mind? Because we don't know anything better. But if we know anything better, then why are we doing the same thing? What is the obstacle? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada said, devotees pray to Lord Narasimha to remove all the obstacles in their bhakti. Lord Narasimha can remove all the obstacles in one's path to Krishna. So at the end, if we can spiritualize our life, if we can bring Krishna factor in our life, in every decision we make, then our life becomes inspirational for our own sake. And then the responsibility is to instruct others around us, or far and wide. Krishna consciousness is not limited to a particular sect of people, a particular tract of land, a particular age group, or whatever, but we can actually take it to the next level. And if we do it, then Krishna becomes pleased. And that is the aim of my life. Right? To please Krishna, to please his spiritual master. So otherwise, if we don't do it, I showed you the other picture. If we don't do it, then the life becomes overwhelming. Overwhelmingly overwhelming. There will always be some deficiency in our material existence. Sometimes we don't have. I had a teacher who said there are two things which are less for everybody in the whole world. What are the two things? Time and money. So, but other than that, sometimes we don't have enough place to live, or the house is small, or the weather is bad, or the body is frail, or there is some disease, or the state government is bad, or this. So every moment there will be something which will occupy our consciousness and will overwhelm us every moment. We are making so many scientific advancements to bring comfort to our life in the form of, okay, if it's a very hot weather, then put an AC. If it's very cold, then put a heater. And we have an example. Or if traveling from point A to point B is a problem, get a car. Or if sleeping on the floor is a problem, there are 100 different kinds of mattresses available out there now. Right? Go get them. So like that, to give comfort to this body, I'm not saying don't give comfort to the body, but meet the need. But beyond need is greed. So if we actually cross that line of need and come to the edge of greed, then we will always be overwhelmed. When Prahlad, Narasimha Dev asked Prahlad Maharaj that who is teaching you all this? Like, where are you learning all this knowledge from? And I am the supreme, so bow down in front of me. I'm paraphrasing. And so bow down in front of me, and I'm the supreme. So who is telling you Vishnu is supreme? Who is teaching you all this? What did Prahlad Maharaj answer? Prahlad Maharaj said that, don't worry, you will never understand because your senses are uncontrolled. So basically, if somebody's senses are uncontrolled, the Krishna Tattva becomes so far-fetched goal. But is Krishna Tattva really a far-fetched goal? Something which is in your own heart, moment to moment. Is it really a far-fetched goal? Is it like that? Is it true? Sense objects are far-fetched. They make an endeavor, earn money, go to the market, get a good quality, do this. There's so much research. But if Krishna is in the heart, is it really a far-fetched goal to go to Krishna? Theoretically speaking, not that I've gone to Krishna, but theoretically.
No.
It shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be. Then how is it? How is it? Because we are overwhelmed with material energy. How? Because we are not serious about going to Krishna. So we can align and realign our life. Krishna, this life, give me a chance to become 100% Krishna conscious. This life, I wasted so many other lives. I don't know what the future holds, but this is what I have right now. So living in the present is what mode? Goodness, passion, ignorance. Person who is living in the present moment is what
Passion.
mode of energy?
Passion, mode of passion.
Mode of passion. Okay. Anyone else? Living in the future, always planning for future happiness.
Is
And
the passion.
working hard is what
Passion.
mode?
Passion, it is mode of passion.
Always like subduing one's activity and trying to get into some sort of a hallucination or sleep to not face life.
Mode of ignorance.
So living in
Ignorance.
living a mindful life at the present moment, that this is what I have right now and this is what I can do at this moment, is what mode?
Mode of goodness.
Mode of
Goodness. Very nice. So mode of goodness. Okay. So at least come to that mode. At least try to come. Okay. Because the mind will go here, there, and will bring. The mind will go. Okay. And then it will bring back anxiety. Because fear of unknown. Why will it bring anxiety? Because there's so many desires. The desire will bring us here, there, everywhere. What will happen next? What will happen to my children? What will happen to my wealth? What will happen to this? What will happen to that? One example given in terms of anxiety is the very famous example of money, right? Money is like, if somebody doesn't have money, they're in anxiety. But if somebody gets some money, they're in anxiety because that, okay, now I have money. How do I store it? How do I grow it? How do I invest it? How do I pass it on? Somebody may not steal. So it's always an anxiety provoking thing unless and until one actually puts money where it actually belongs. So realign. We are always, in the next verse tomorrow we will study, when Rishabh Devi is saying we are always trying to misdirect our life. Always. Krishna consciousness is realign yourself. Come back. Realign. Okay, so how do you know we're becoming Krishna conscious? If we are able to inspire each other. And if we will fall down. It's not that we become like accomplished, but are we able to always lift each other and not get stuck in that fall down phase? I was listening to Radha Maharaj lecture today on Narasimha Deva Parents' Day, and Maharaj was saying very interesting perspective on pastime of Narasimha Dev and Prahlad Maharaj, that Maharaj said Narasimha Dev, Hiranyakashipu was always cruel and angry at Prahlad Maharaj. Once Prahlad Maharaj sat in the lap of Narasimha Dev and he was patting his head and asking him questions. A very, very short amount of time, but he was mostly like very cruel and very threatening to Prahlad Maharaj. But Prahlad Maharaj was always very respectful and never lost compassion for Hiranyakashipu. So this actually, Maharaj said, this actually hurt Hiranyakashipu's ego even more, because at least, you should hate me, Prahlad. I'm doing this to you. Hate me. But Prahlad Maharaj never hated Hiranyakashipu. He never lost that compassion that he had for him under any circumstance. Of course, that's a very high level. We are not at that level, but we have such role models, This is a role model, not the one who has made a hit movie or a hit score here and there, or a very rich person. Because if that's the role model, then we are going to be overwhelmed, because the role model itself is very overwhelmed. Okay. So try to become Krishna conscious in all circumstances, because Krishna is right there in the heart. It's not a far-fetched goal. We can always come back and stay there and become serious about going to Krishna in this life by engaging in devotional service ourselves and also helping others to do the same. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections?